Have you ever felt like you're working hard, you're learning new strategies, but your trading results are just not adding up? You're looking at your account and you're either still break even no matter how much work you put into it, or you're even bleeding out money still somehow, and you're just like, I don't know how to improve as a trader. It's almost like you're pouring water into a barrel, but no matter how much you pour in, the water level never rises. That's because your trading barrel has leaks. And today, what I want to do is I want to show you how to find those leaks, and I want to show you how to fix those leaks so that you can see the results in your trading start to compound. Now, I have worked with numerous traders at all levels, some people that are just starting out, some who are already profitable, but they're ready to take things to the next level, maybe start a full-time trading business or whatever. And through coaching, I've helped a lot of people find their edge. I've helped them break through plateaus. And I've also helped them finally see the consistent growth that they're looking for. And this question of how do I get better comes up all the time. And this is a process that I take people through on a regular basis, no matter where they are in their journey. Imagine your trading journey as a barrel that you are trying to fill with profits. And you can see from the really cheesy image on my screen that this barrel has holes in it. Some of them are lower than others, some are near the bottom, some are higher up. And the water or the wine, your money, is leaking out. And the size and the position of those holes are determining for you how quickly your barrel fills up. Now, these holes are all over the barrel. Some are in the bottom, some are in the middle, some are near the top. And for some of you, you might look at the holes in your own trading journey, like your skill level, and you might be thinking, there are so many holes in this barrel. I'm bleeding out money in so many different directions that I don't even know where to begin. And that's why I made this video. I want to help you make a plan to get better as a trader. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the exact steps to do it. Now, there are two common schools of thought when it comes to improving as a trader. The first school of thought would be, I need to focus on the holes at the bottom of the barrel, because for most people, that means those are the things that I'm bad at. They're at the bottom of my barrel. I must be bad at them. And this makes sense because if you look at a barrel with holes in it, obviously you're never going to be able to fill up your barrel further than the holes at the bottom. And sure, with enough rush of profits, with a big enough burst of water or wine, you're going to be able to fill it up quicker than it can leak out. But eventually, it's going to leak out again, and it's kind of this boom or bust, break-even cycle. You're always going to sink down to the lowest hole eventually. And so the thought is, focus on the holes at the bottom of the barrel. Those are the things that I'm obviously worst at. The other one would be, no, I need to focus on the holes at the top of the barrel. I need to double down on my strengths. I need to make my best areas even better. And so I can afford to ignore the holes at the bottom and focus on what I'm good at, because if I focus on what I'm good at, the amount of water coming into the barrel is going to be so fast and so much that it's going to kind of overwhelm the holes at the bottom of the barrel. And so most traders, maybe even you, think, well, I'm not good at this, so I need to grind away at this, right? I'm not good at risk management, so I need to grind away hard at risk management. Or I'm not good at spotting setups, and so I need to work really, really hard at spotting setups. And there's some truth to that. But here's the twist, okay? The lowest holes on the barrel, I believe, are the ones that you need to focus on, because you're never going to be able to keep profits if you don't focus on the lowest holes. But most people don't have any idea of figuring out what the lowest, or they don't have any idea how to figure out what the lowest holes are for them. For most people, they think the lowest holes are the things that they're worst at. And the reality is, it's too black and white to look at your trading and try to figure out what you're the best at, what you're the worst at. I do think you need to focus on the holes at the bottom of your barrel that are leaking profits, but first you have to be able to define what those holes are, and they're not what you're worst at. The lowest hole for you should be the thing that is costing you the most money. And that's not always going to line up with skill. You have to be able to identify what's costing me the most. What is causing my profits to leak out regularly? This is not necessarily what you feel you're weak at or that you feel like you could use working on. They're not even a lot of times the things that you're actually really, really bad at. It's about what's actually leaking the most cash out of your barrel. So let me give you a quick example of this, okay? Maybe you're really, really good at spotting decent trades, but you're really, really bad at identifying resistance levels on the chart and where you should take profits. And so you sometimes miss the areas you should take profits and you get out a little bit late. But the thing that's actually and that might be costing you a little bit of profits, but if you were to dive deeper into your trading, you'd see that the thing that's actually costing you the most money is how much money you are losing on each trade compared to how much you make. And so for you, the hole that's actually leaking the most money, even though you may feel that you are absolutely the worst at taking profits, is your position sizing. That's your lowest hole. And until you fix your position sizing, it doesn't matter how good you are at exiting trades. Even if it's not the thing that you feel the worst at, you have to be able to identify what is the thing that's costing you the most money. Whether that's the worst thing you do or the best thing you do, what's causing you to drain money? What's causing you to lose money in your account? So, how do you identify what's really costing you money? Okay? Here's a simple process for you, all right? The first one, I want to encourage you to keep a journal, okay? I'm just going to say this, all right? And this might offend some people, but you can't improve without a journal. And if you want me to take you seriously as a trader and you aren't willing to keep a journal, you're not willing to do the hard work of trying to dial in what you're doing well, what you need to work on, it's going to be really, really hard for me to take you seriously as a trader. And I know that may sound harsh, but why do I say that? Because you can't improve if you don't have data on your trades. Most people think this stupid old adage that is practice makes perfect, and they just really need more screen time. And there's some truth to the fact that you do need more screen time, and the more time you spend in front of the screen, the more intuition you're going to have and stuff like that. But here's a harsh reality. Practice does not make perfect, okay? It doesn't. If I practice doing the same thing over and over and over again the wrong way, I'm not going to get better. I'm just going to get perfect at being really bad at what I do. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So the way that you practice is doing things the right way. And the way you figure out the right way to do things is through evaluation. You're never going to get better if you don't evaluate. Everybody gets better through evaluation. And the way that you're going to evaluate as a trader is through your journal. And this is the number one step for most people on the road to improvement, is just keeping a trading journal and looking back on their trades. And you don't even have to go that far back. Like, go back 20 or 30 trades, okay? And ask yourself, where was it that I lost the most money? Was it bad entries? Was it poor exits? Was it over trading? Was it ignoring my stops? What was it? You're going to have a journal to be able to answer those questions. And then after you've started journaling, the second step is this: you want to identify patterns. When I look at my trading, what is it that I'm seeing over and over and over again that's causing me my biggest losses? So look at your biggest losses and ask yourself, what's costing me these losses over and over and over again? And chances are you're going to look at those and you're going to see there's a repeatable pattern to my losses, okay? And be brutally honest with yourself in that moment. So you're going to keep a journal, you're going to track your patterns, and then I want to encourage you to get some feedback, okay? The reality is sometimes we are just too close to our own blind spots and we can't even see, or we don't even know what steps we need to take. Sometimes we look at our trades and we can't figure it out or dial it down to one thing. What is the one thing that's costing me the most money without a second set of eyes? And so this is why I believe that you shouldn't trade alone. Ask a mentor. Ask a trading buddy. We have a trading community called the Legacy Profits Club. Ask them to review your trades and to point out what might be missing from your trading. And if all else fails, get a coach. Do what you need to do in order to get better, because most people are not going to get better on their own. And then after you've kind of found your lowest hole, you've gotten feedback, you've journaled, you have identified the patterns, and you know this is the thing, the one thing that's costing me the most money, then you need to patch it up. So how do we patch the hole? Let me give you a few ways to do that, okay? How do I patch the holes? Number one, you're going to spot the leak, all right? So pick the thing, pick the single behavior, pick the single habit that's costing you the most money and say, that's the hole. That's the thing that I'm going to fix. And then you're going to want to isolate that problem and you're going to focus on a fix. So you're going to just ask the question, what's it going to take for me to be able to fix this leak? Come up with a game plan. These are the exact steps that I need to take to stop leaking money out in my account through that hole. And it's only that hole that I'm worried about right now. And then for the next week, make fixing that leak your top priority. Okay? Don't try to fix everything at once. Just try to plug that hole. These are the steps I'm going to take, and for the next week, I'm going to just do that thing to fix that problem. Then you're going to track your results. Are you making more money than you were making before? Is your trading improving? Based on your journal, are the steps that you said you were going to take to fix this leak that you've actually implemented, is the data telling you it's working? And hopefully it is. And let's talk about why this works. Let's go back to the barrel analogy for just a minute. Now that you have the lowest hole on the barrel filled, you can hold more. You can hold more money. You still have more holes to fill, but you're keeping more of what you were making, which brings me to the last step. Start over, repeat. Look at the next hole. What's the next biggest thing that's costing me money? And this is a never-ending process of every single trader. New holes are going to pop up in your trading. They're going to pop up in your barrel all the time. And you're going to have to do this process over and over and over again for the rest of your life. And now you have a process to work with. If you want to get better as a trader, you're not going to get better by trying to patch every single hole at once. You're going to focus on what's costing you the most. You're going to plug that leak and you're going to watch your results start to compound. And let me just say, if you need help, like figuring out what that next step is, you need help getting over a hump, you need help dialing in exactly what it is that's holding you back or what it is that's costing you the most money, I'm here for you if you need me, okay? I open up my books to a handful of traders each week. I'm always happy to troubleshoot with you one-on-one, free of charge, to see if we can plug those leaks together, okay? So if you need help, just reach out. Let's keep plugging those leaks one at a time.